Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Upfront Mind, Body, and Soul podcast, where I am your host, Michelle Bolden Hammond. And listen, you are in for a treat tonight with my special guest, Miss Victoria M. Holland is in the building, the house, the whole conference room, whatever you want to call it tonight. So I want you guys to tune in. I want you to share this video. And I want to give a special thanks because tonight's episode, and you will get to hear from this sponsor. This episode tonight is sponsored by a musical group, A Breath of Fresh Air. Yes, you will get to hear a little sample of them tonight, but I want to give a special thanks to them for being a sponsor for tonight's episode. And I am delighted to have my sister friend here, contributor, collaborator, and we're going to get into those topics, Miss Victoria Holland. So welcome, Victoria.
Hey girl, it's good to be back. I'm excited.
As always, Victoria, I don't know a lot of people on here. We have a few viewers and people that's tuning in. We have Miss Diane Martin. Good evening to you. Miss Rosalind Henson, thank you for watching tonight. But for those of you who may know or may not know, I'm just going to give you a little brief, little expert of who this sister friend of mine is. I will say that it's like we've known each other for years and we really just met through the pandemic. And I'm just like, God does things for a reason. And this is what this show is about. He builds you with certain people to bring out uniqueness within you. And it's all about collaborating. I will say she's a true collaborator, but let me give you just a little bit who she is.
Oh, Lord.
So my sister friend, Miss Victoria M. Holland, she is a certified professional master coach. Victoria Elevates LLC is what she has, which is housed for her Elevated, Not Tolerated coaching program, motivational services. Victoria, the moderator. That's what we say. The moderator, motivator, and the get-go-rator.
I'll use that
So
one.
we got some words. We got to throw off of each other. Get-go-grader.
Mhm.
And she also, and she has been posting some of her stuff, is also do elegant floral services. So some of you June brides might be on the way. I got a couple of them that I know that might be getting married. To send that referral that way as well.
Awesome. Thank you.
So she also, and she's going to tell us later, you can also find her on Sundays where she has uncensored. And when I say uncensored, it's 100% truth, authenticity, all of that. And that's what I like. And I think that's why, because as my grandmother Lucille said, and good evening, Roxanne, and she will tell you, as my grandmother Lucille said, people love you more better and respect you more better when you give them the true truth. And that's one thing. My grandmom did not bite her tongue, and people will respect you even more. And she has her Elevated with Not Tolerated podcast and the Coaches on the Parade, which we're going to talk about more about. So, Miss Elevated, Not Tolerated. What you not tolerating with today?
I'm not tolerating with shenanigans. I'm not tolerating people that cannot collaborate. I'm not tolerating negative behaviors. I'm not tolerating anything that's going to hold us down, because elevated, not tolerated means to rise above all of that. And with you and I together, Michelle, we're going to continue to rise above all of that.
I know that's one of the things. I think that's one of why we connected so
Yes.
well along with others. Because I always try to see the good.
Yes.
And even today, I had to share that today in a group that I had earlier tonight before I came on here.
Yes.
I always try to see the positive, even when people have some negative challenges. I try to give everybody a chance, but sometimes we just can't. give her, and it has to blow us in the face sometimes. But I'm so glad you're not tolerating it. That's one of the
Yeah.
things. And I know that's something that you came into the year with. We both came into, we talk often,
Yes,
we
we do.
talk weekly. So there are going to be a couple of topics tonight, and feel free to join in and ask questions tonight. Gotta see the positive. That's right, not tolerate it. That is one of the things that, the beginning of the year, everyone puts on a mindset about these goals. So
Mm.
when we talking about goals, Victoria, what do goals you think? What does that mean for you as being in your professionalism as a coach, as someone who motivates others? So can you explain what the goals is? And I have some specific questions.
Oh, Lord, y'all. She got specifics. Woo! She gonna shake me up.
So, and then just to say too, for tonight, you might want to stay on tonight, because you're gonna have to remember these three key words tonight. So I'm gonna say them out really quick. So they got to be sure if you're listening, because that's one thing that you got to have a listening key to remember this. And this is something to throw off as us in the realm of coaching.
That's right.
Goals, reality, and options.
Mm.
Goals, reality, and options. So, Victoria, let's start with goals. Even when you're doing your coaching, the client come to you and they be like, I need help with goal setting. So what would be the first thing that you say to them?
Well, and thank you again for having me on the show, Michelle. It's always a pleasure. And as you and I have raised our bars on our titles as I am now a professional achievement facilitator in the field. So when I think goals, and I have people come to me and say, I need some goal setting, I don't know what to do. My first thing is, what is your root? Where did you come from? Where did that idea come from? Because if you do not know where it begins, there's no way that you can build it to make it go somewhere else. So after they tell me where the roots came from, where that thought came from, where that process came from, the next thing I'm going to ask is, how long have you wanted to do this? Because if this is something that you've been waiting to do for over a century and you still haven't done it, it's something that's holding you back from doing it. So in order to develop positive goals, you got to move all of the shenanigans out of the way. You got to move all the dead weight, the toxic behaviors, and all of that out of the way. Because in order to have clear, effective goals, you can't be held down by things that don't push you to your destiny. Your goals are actually a part of your destiny and where you're going. So if you're still holding on to baggage and excess baggage and toxic behaviors, your goals ain't going to go but so far. Goals are things that you are going to achieve. My students that are in my positive self-building class, they know that when I say we're going to set something in place, that means we're going forward. And that means you come out of the root, you get to the meat and potatoes, and you remove all of the shenanigans out of the way. So once they've removed the shenanigans and they say, okay, I'm ready to move, the next thing is okay, now you know what you want to achieve. And then I take them through this process that I call seeing every level form. So where do you see yourself in the next 30 days, 60 days, 90 days? If they can tell me that, then we can start building what do you need to start working on first? Is it that you need to find information about your resources that you want to use? Is the program or the opportunity that you're looking at, is that something that is useful right now? And is it something that can be moved to another generation, another time? Because time is of the essence. I'm a time freak, Michelle. You know how I am. I cannot tolerate late. Late is late once, okay. Late twice, 3 times it's a wrap. So you have to understand that everything has a time place when you're developing goals. If you don't have some type of time management, then we're going to sit through and we're going to go through time management first, because these are key things that as coaches, as professional achievement, facilitators, we want people to achieve where they want to go. So if they have no concept of the time that it's going to take, then it's because of something that's holding them down. It's something that's keeping their mind bottled up, and they have to release that. Goal setting is a key to everything that we go to do. Getting on the show tonight was a goal. We had to set things in priority to get here. If you can't set priorities now with just getting out of bed and brushing your teeth, then are you going to be able to handle anything else? Because it's time sensitive.
That's right. And that is so true, Victoria. These are the questions, that, remember I said, along with these 3 key words here, or would you agree? And I'm just going to go into it. So when we're asking the client, or for any of you that think you would need that assistance, we are able to assist you in these type of realms. So one of the questions, and you might want to write these down yourself. Actually, you're getting free coaching
tonight
for an hour. Just think about it. You're getting free coaching for an hour tonight. So here is a key question. Would you agree or would you not agree? And then, tell me why you wouldn't. I mean, because again, you have to find out what is your genre. What is your ability when you're looking for these type of coaches? And that's one of the reasons why me and Victoria, I was just talking, we're going to share that story on how the thing changed about coaching, because we see so many coaches now. But the thing is, when it dealt with me, you got to do an identifier. You have to put an identifier out there of who and what you are. So and you'll see that a little bit later, and we'll discuss the reason why. But here's the question: would you agree or would you not agree with that? When we're talking to the Pacific client comes in and they say, well, this goal. So what specifically do you want to accomplish? You did say that in your remark, right? You agree with that one, correct?
I agree.
But here is a master question. This would be a master question.
Okay.
And I want you to think about it. How will your life change as a result of working on this goal?
Definitely.
So as you said, Victoria, as you said earlier, if you still holding on to that baggage, you're taking that stuff into the new way, it's not going to change. So you're just basically just sitting there winding around. Lisa Dove says that's a good one. Yeah, that's a question to really think about and say, how will your life change as a result of working on this goal? And Roxanne says, if you're early, you're on time. If you're on time, you are late. If you are late, you have missed out. That is a good one, sis. That is a good one.
I'm going to borrow that.
That's the thing. You're going to miss out. You're going to miss out on a whole realm of things that you could change. You missing something could really break your destiny.
That's it.
Think about that.
And like you said, if this, I think a lot of times we get clients that come. I know you have, and I know I have. We get clients that come, and we ask specific questions for specific reasons, because we're trying to match and see if you fit into what we are standing for in our different programs. And so when we ask that, and I ask it in a different way, but truly, what you're working towards, is it something that's really going to change your life, or are you just doing something? Because a lot of times people are trying, they're trying everything just to try everything because it's a new fad or whatever, not realizing that if it's not really affecting you directly, that it is only a temporary fix. one of the things I talk about is pulling off the band-aids. If we're always working towards something because somebody else is doing it, then that's not the reason why it's going to be effective to you. If you're talking about effective goal changing in your life, you really have to know that it's about you and not about everything that's around you.
That's so true. That's so true. Well, everyone, you need to go grab us a little bit of tea because we're going to dig a little bit more deeper because we're next going to talk about reality. But
Ooh.
first, I would like to say again, this episode of Upfront Mind, Body, and Soul is sponsored by my sponsor, the Breath of Fresh Air Band with Mr. Roger McKnight. So let's give them a hand out. So we're going to take a quick break and we're going to be right back with my guest, Victoria M. Holland. Yes, we are right back to Upfront Mind, Body, and Soul, where I'm your host, Michelle Bolden Hammond, and I am here with my lovely sister friend, Victoria M. Holland of Elevated, Not Tolerated, and we are here just talking, lollygagging on about what it is about being this specific as, let me say, professional
Achievement facilitator.
Achievement facilitator. That's right. And we were talking, Victoria had said earlier on in the start of the program, as she was just talking before we took a break about, everything looks at it as a norm, I remember starting out in 2008 when I first took my first coaching class back in 2008, and I can remember how they were said that this type of realm would boom, and now I see it. It's like everybody's a coach. You got a coach for this thing, you got a coach for that thing. So like one day I was just sitting here and the small voice was like, you need to go back to doing like you did really hard back in the day, because my genre is different, dealing with stress management, the health and corporate health and wellness, different things, those different areas, and personal growth and development. And he was like, you need to identify what you truly are. And I called Victoria. I said, Victoria, Victoria, he just told me. I said he gave me about, it's so many coaches, but you got to really come out and identify what you really are. So I went around and searching. I'm like explaining what my characteristics were.
That's right.
And when I looked it up, it all braced around to the word admonitor. So you're adding and you're monitoring somebody. But when I looked at the word admonitor, it was basically talking about how Jesus admonitored. That means that he sent out warning, but also an effective of helping. But it's also the moving and progressing people forward. And I'm like, wow. So that's that characteristic.
Yeah.
Just basically, and I shared that with her. I said, you might pray about what you got to do about it, but might have to change because everybody's like identify. Oh, because now I can't say everybody's coaching is the real deal. I can't say that because that's what we want to move.
You already know. I'll be still. I'll be quiet.
And I mean, and you identify one thing. You have to search out, because I'm not just going to take you on as a client knowing that I won't be able to service you. And that's where we have gotten, and where this whole field has gotten to a bad representation of
most definitely.
Right. So I'm not going to take you because it's money for me. Yeah, I'm not going to do that, because me, for one, I add to and I monitor for you to monetize in your growth in your spirit and whatever else. So how I see it is, we got to go back onto the second word. We had three again: goals, reality, and options, right? So, reality. Explain the reality, because sometimes you got to break into the reality of things. Now, am I just going to take on this client because I feel it might fill my pockets right now? And really,
That's true.
I know I'm not, this is not the fit. And that's and see, you getting some free tips right here. Look, I'm like you now, Victoria.
Come on,
Now,
girl.
I'm giving you some free tips here on stuff that you need to watch, look out for, because we see it all the time.
Yes, we do.
We see it. This is a coach and have a bit more coaching skills with Eva, or, and not knocking nobody. I'm all about it. But I know that I'm not going to take this person on if I can't help them. But this is what we see. And you really do more harm to people than
Right.
helping them.
That's
So
right.
when we talking about reality,
I'm gonna sit here twirling my feet, right? Because you have said so many positive things, and again, thank you for allowing us to come tonight and be able to give some tips to not only those people that are seeking out coaches, true certified professional coaches. Let me just add. See, Michelle can't say so. I say so. We twins. I'm her other, right? So the key, one of reality is for sure is that when you are looking for someone that's going to be able to help us, we need to be able to make sure that that person fits into what we're talking about. And I think a lot of times, we got people out there, like you said, Michelle. People are they're hearing the word coaching, coaches, and they're not understanding what all that means. And so the reality is a coach, and depending on what their genre is, that's going to determine what their expertise is. If and the reality is, if, like Michelle said, we don't take clients, and I'm glad that Michelle is going to be a part of the Coaches on Parade 2022. Just so y'all know, she is one of the lead coaches that's going to be on the Coaches on Parade for 2022. But one of the things that you have to be able to understand is that with the reality of being a coach, it doesn't mean that you get somebody in your office and you're telling them what to do. That's not coaching, y'all. And if you say that you are XYZ coach, make sure you've got experience in that, because the client that's coming to you is looking for, I'm an elevation motivational coach. That's who I am. I'm gonna get you. I'm a personal development coach, and I'm I have 4 masters in coaching. But at the end of the day, hey son, I love you. When I tell you that it is important that you understand that, when you come to me, you're going to get the personal development, and the reality of that is, what is your weak points right now? When you're talking about what's real in your life right now, my question is going to be something to the effect, well, how can I help you rise up and be excited about who you are? That's one of the things. When you come to me, I want you to have some life, right? And if you tell me I don't have any life, well, that's where I need to start, because the reality is there's something that has held you down from keeping you to be lively, right? And so I want to help you move to that next level. The reality is, are you looking at what is really, truly you? And I think part of the problem that people experience, Michelle, is that when we throw out words like reality to them, they'll start giving you tidbits about somebody else. Michelle looks like this, and I want to look like Michelle. The reality is you're not Michelle, and Michelle's not Victoria. So the reality is we got to tap into who you are. Reality means that you are being real to the point that you get it. Reality, real to you, real to you. Get it? Reality, real to you. You have to understand that if you're not being real to you, then there's nothing real about you. So we have to go to and find that place that is real about you. Right? Michelle does it through mindset and dealing with the the wellness issues of it. Right? I'm dealing with that motivation piece. So what's keeping you? What's holding you down? Is it your confidence? Did something happen to you in your past that beat your confidence down to another level? Well, at the end of the day, the reality is when we start tapping into those things start unfolding. Right? The other thing that I want to tap on right now, Michelle, was coaches. Is this right here? Make sure you're a coach and not a consultant. Those are 2 different things. Coaching and consultant is 2 different things. Now, keep in mind, you can wear many hats because Michelle and I both wear many hats. But when you have someone coming to you and they're saying, I need a consultation, okay, I'm going to give you a consultation as a coach, right? See, a lot of people are saying they're coaches and you're not, you're consultants. Be clear in what you are. See, that's a reality check because there's some people that don't understand that, right? The other thing, the other reality check is this right here. If you're looking for a coach is different from a therapist.
Yes.
Coaches,
Most definitely.
we are different from therapists. Now, that doesn't mean that Michelle and others and myself don't have other, how do I say, expertise, but we are representing as coaches, right? And so one of the things when me and Michelle had that conversation about our name or our titles, it was very obvious to me and her both. That conversation was one of the best highlight conversations that she and I have had in quite some time. And that conversation led me to believe, wait a minute, I'm a professional, but I want to help people achieve. And so I'm your engineer. So that means I'm gonna facilitate how you do it. Professional achievement facilitator. Get it? But the reality was I had to find out who really I was. In order to find out how to help you, I got to make sure I know who I am, right? And most of the time, that's the part that gets people in trouble. You don't understand who you really are. There's too many of us in this field that are trying to be therapists when you should remain as coaches. To those individuals out there that are looking for coaches, but we are also trained to recognize when you need a therapist. We are trained. Michelle, those of us that have gone through the training are trained to know if you need to have a therapist, right? Now, understand this. Understand this clearly. If Michelle has many hats, I have many hats. Suppose Michelle is also a licensed counselor and therapist. She can identify that and tell her client that, but she also will let them know I am operating in the movement of a coach. Right? So we have to be clear of what we're operating in. And so the reality to you as an individual out there tonight is know what you're working with. What are you truly working with inside of you? The reality, real you, real to you. Everybody point to yourself. Real to you. When you are real to this thing right here, everything else will start opening. You got to know what you're working with.
Yes.
When you come to us as coaches and see, we're one of the Michelle, we're probably two of the top 10 coaches that you will ever come in contact with. That is so darn toot and transparent that either you're gonna leave our sessions crying because you have had a breakthrough, or you're gonna be laughing hysterically because you figured out that we're standing there with you going through this process, right? See, the thing is, if you can't relate, and that's a reality, if you cannot really relate to the person that you are dealing with, then you might need to find another coach, right?
Yes.
Because if I can't relate to Michelle, then I can't tell her my deep dark secrets. Now let me challenge you coaches out there. Some of you are getting deep dark secrets confused with coaching. Deep dark secrets of these clients, they're not coming to us to tell us their deep dark secrets because we want to exploit them. We want to help them, right? So if I can't help them, I need to refer them to someone that can, right? And one of the things that Victoria Elevates does with Coaches on Parade is a reality check. Michelle's interested to bring this up, because each of the coaches that will participate in the Coaches on Parade, they will have to go through a testing called your reality check. Because I want to know, do you really know that you're a coach?
Exactly. And that's a good thing, because when we're talking about reality, and then here's the two questions. When you're talking to them, you be like, where are you today in your relationship to this goal? Is this something that is doable, or this is something that's out of this world that you can't fix right yet?
Y'all better
So
write
what are
this
we going to do to chew on it and marinate on it to bring it to where you think it is going to be a reality?
down.
Yeah, and the next one is, what have you tried that worked and didn't work? That's where she's talking about the reality. Just because something didn't work don't mean it ain't the reality. It might be that you need to go back and process it back over again and start it from the beginning. Because, again, it's very different dimensions on getting to that goal.
That's true. And the
It's
other
very,
thing, and the other thing too, Michelle, one of the things that we're talking about in the positive building class right now is we're talking about confidence. But one of the things that the students and I talk about in just about every one of the classes is this: sometimes what you say is a weakness is actually my strength. And sometimes we have to evaluate what our strength and our weaknesses truly look like, because one could be actually building the other. It's how you process it, it's the perception that you give it. But again, that's because if you know real to yourself, then you'll understand how your weaknesses and your strength do actually operate together. You have to have those two pieces in order to build your goals from, because they do house who you are if you're real to yourself.
Well, Victoria, this is really good. This is really good. But we're gonna come right back, and we're gonna come back with our third of talk on options, and then we're gonna hear about all what Victoria got going on. But right now, I want you to get a taste of our sponsor, A Breath of Fresh Air.
Yes.
Again, yes, tonight's episode is sponsored by A Breath of Fresh Air Band.
Know it when you hear it, I'm sure you know it. So sing along, dance along. Let's go.
Woohoo! Yes, that is for our sponsor,
Oh, yeah.
band.
That was good. That was hey. I love that share. Woohoo!
Breath of fresh air,
That
Mr.
was
Roger
it.
McKnight and his crew. You would love to sponsor them.
Awesome.
They actually will be performing April the 9th in Preston, Maryland here. So you will get to follow them. Good, wholesome band with jazz, soul, all in all. So yes, I
Don't make
have the
me
pleasure
move.
of working with him so as well. So
You're trying to make me move, girl. I tell you, we got too many events going on up there. I'm gonna have to move and be up there because that was hot. I like that.
yeah, they're very good. They're very good. I appreciate him for sponsoring us tonight. Appreciate
Yeah.
for sponsoring them. So we are going. Look, Rosa said, "Breath of fresh air, still got it." Yes, they
Yeah, that was
do.
hot. I
Yes,
like
they
that.
do. They do. They really do. They're awesome. They're awesome.
It's amazing.
So we're on our last bullet. We're gonna be talking about options. So when we options, we're talking about ways of moving forward. So what would you do even in the point of the obstacle can't be removed?
Oh, she asking me, y'all. Oh, she had me going there, y'all. So that for me, Michelle, I look at options because with elevated not tolerated, it's a story behind it. I've shared it with you and some of the others, but when I look at the options, when I'm talking to clients about that, is that I have to ask them specifics, like if you can't get out of this situation, did you have a plan B in place before? Because as I'm teaching now is that we have to have an A plan and a B plan. I know some people say, no, there's only one plan, God's plan. That is true. But in with that, God has also given us insight that he allows us to be prepared, right? So with options, we are preparing how things may go one way or the other. So when a client or an individual is talking to me about options, I ask them, let's look at some probabilities. If you were walking across the street and you saw nothing coming down one side of the road, what would you do? And the answer is usually I'll look the other side. Okay, well, that's how you should look at your options in your life. When there's nothing on this side, you've got to see if there's something on this side. If it's something that cannot be fixed, right? If it's something that cannot be fixed, then you have to be able to learn how to deal with it, right? So the process of dealing with it comes with a lot of language and how we've been taught over our lifetime. And sometimes the options that we've been given is to run. Well, one thing I can tell you that running does not solve anything. If this is something that cannot be solved, then you have to give it a ABC look at. You have to say, well, okay, I can't walk across the street because it's a 4-lane highway. So what can I do? I can get a cab. I can call Michelle. I can call my godson, or I could stay still until the traffic goes by. You have to be able to look at it as not something that you've got to do. Sometimes the only option that you may have in this situation is to sit still. Some things will pass over if you sit still. See, the thing is, we don't want to be silent. We don't want to stand still because we feel like if we're not moving, that we're dying. Sometimes being still, not stagnant. There's a difference. There's a difference between still and stagnant. There's a difference. Michelle, there's a difference.
There's good one.
Between being still and stagnant. Stagnant leaves you in dirty, stinking water that draws flies. Being still allows you to process and be at peace. So there's a difference between still and stagnant, right? So if you're stagnant and you're stinking and there's bugs flying around you, I suggest you get out of that. But if you're silent and you're being at peace, that's a good option. If you can't if you can't have any other way, be silent. Be silent. Other options that you may look at is, what if I gave this situation to someone else? So this is where collaboration comes in, Michelle. If I don't see any way of getting out of something, I'm going to pick up the phone and call Michelle and say, Michelle, girl, I'm stuck on this paragraph in this book. The chapter sounds good to me. And I know Michelle's an expert. She's got like 25 million books under her belt, and she's got 25 million more coming. She's done 100 collaborations, and she's got 100 more coming. And so I know if I get stuck, I'm going to call her and say, Michelle, you've done some work with some books and stuff, and I'm stuck. I can't change this paragraph. What can I do? See, if you're smart enough to know that you're stuck, then you should be smart enough to find a resource that can help you. Because just because you can't make the mountain move doesn't mean that the mountain can't move. It just means that you got to find somebody else to help you move it.
Wow, that's collaboration.
That's
That's the
collaboration.
key. That's collaboration.
Indeed.
That is collaboration. So we have had goals, reality, and options. So, how can we turn that into a accountability task for
Ooh.
yourself? Ooh, I'm coming
Ooh.
hard hitting tonight.
Ooh, she hitting, boy. Ouch. Did y'all feel that? That was y'all see that win? That was Michelle B coming through. Y'all better watch. Well, Michelle, I found that sometimes is harder than all of the other three things that you talked about. We can help coach the individual. We can set their achievement plan in place for the goals. We can talk about the reality of where it started and where they want to go, and we can also kind of get them to that next level. But then when we start saying, and now I'm holding you accountable, that's
Mm,
when the red stoplight comes on.
mm,
And that's truly the meat and potatoes in some aspect of coaching is the accountability part. Because if we've gone through these three stages and you don't want to go to the next, because at that point with accountability, you have got to look at yourself and say, okay, how bad do I want it? If you want it bad enough, then you're going to set the goal. I'm going to complete this task on such and such a day. You're going to set that date. And as Michelle and I will do, and if any other you good coaches now, some of you coaches ain't that good, but any of you other good coaches out there, you're going to say, okay, Michelle, how are you doing on step 1 of the plan? And if the person responds, I haven't started yet. And we as coaches going to say, why? Why have you not started? We talked 2 weeks ago. This was the date that you're supposed to have it completed. Can you give me some insight of why it didn't happen? It was the instructions not clear. Then we can start asking questions. But if you say, I didn't want to do it.
right.
Well, then that means you don't want to hold yourself accountable for moving to your next. See, that's when you become stagnant. See, I'm gonna make up a word. Non-accountable people. Is that a word? I think. Let me check it out. Because I make up words, Michelle. You know I do. So if you are if you're a person that wants to be stagnant, then you're non-accountable.
Right.
And
Right.
sometimes you're not going to even be in existence to your own self. You can
That's
be
all
in
right.
existence with everybody else, but you're not existence to yourself. So if you're not going to hold yourself accountable, then why did you set the goal?
And that's so true because I see sometimes when some people get mad about accountability, but
I was
they
going to
ask
say
for it.
that's the next
They
thing.
ask for it. So, some people do get mad about accountability, but
Mm-hmm.
that's a part of the process of you wanting to achieve. And as the people who are aiding you and helping you through this process, basically you got to put in the work. I'm not going to work as more than you are for
Yep, I'm
you to
not doing
have. I'm holding you accountable. You telling me this. This is what you sign on for. So this is what we're going to get. So when I see that you're not, then it's not accountable. You're wasting time.
it. Mm-hmm.
You're wasting time, but you got to be held accountable and don't get mad about it
That's
when the
that's
goal that you set the date to,
work.
because that's the thing. I
That's
have you set your own plan, your date.
that's it.
We line it out for you. You set the date. So all we just ask you to do, we aid you to that.
That's
So
right. We walk you through those, and those steps are based on what you've told us.
right, right.
Michelle said, Victoria, can you be on the show? Yes, I can be on the show. She said, look at your calendar, see what's available. I looked at my calendar to see what's available. We set the date, we set the time, and we're here. That means that we went through the process. And in that process, she held me accountable by saying, okay, check your book. Now, if I had never checked my book, y'all, I wouldn't be on the show because Michelle don't play that. She ain't waiting for you to call 10 years later. Okay, so but if she contacts me, it's because she knows my character, right? So you got to understand, we as coaches, some people, we have never met you. We don't know anything about you. So we're building a character relationship with you. And a part of building that character relationship with you is holding you accountable to certain things so that we can help you see where your problems lie.
Right.
And in some cases, Michelle, the whole issue is the accountability. That's the issue.
That's the issue.
You know how to do everything, but you know how to come to class, but you don't know how to do your homework. You know how to get on a Zoom, but you don't know how to be quiet in the Zoom. You know, there's certain things, you know, life is is an open door, y'all. You can go in it and out it on several different ways. But the thing is, when you get into a revolving door, see, a door should be going in and out. If you continue to be in a revolving door, then there's no accountability.
Right.
There's no accountability because you're just spinning. You know,
right.
we talk about spinning out of control. And that's what a lot of times people are doing. They're spinning out of control. The other thing is, Michelle, I've learned, and I'm sure you have too, is that if we have people that if we ask that question, have you ever had a coach before? And when they say yes, oh, I'm excited because I want to know why you came to me.
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah, I want to know why
Most
you came to
definitely.
me. And they said, well, I'm looking for something different. I need some
Right.
elevation and motivation. I got mindset from Michelle, but I need some motivation now. Okay, well, that sounds pretty good. I'll go along with that. I will. But then you start finding out that you are on this level that you should have accomplished over here. And then you begin to say, well, I didn't do that over there. I just thought it was crazy. Well, then the red flags, my antennas go up, because is that the same thing you're going to do here? Can I hold you accountable for doing the same thing here? And again, like, usually that's when we can determine if a person is really ready to move to the next. Because if they're jumping from coach to coach to coach to coach to coach, right, that's a good indication that they're not ready. And I'll even say that we got consultants and therapists that we work with as well, and they tell us the same thing. The people that go from place to place and place, they're not really accountable.
That's true. So we're going to take a quick break, but it's almost time for us to go, but I actually want to say Happy International Women's Day to all you lovely people, ladies that's out here that celebrate. If you're international, I used to joke around with people and tell them, I say, look, I have an international belly.
Yes, we do.
So I have a taste for international. So we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to be right back, and we're going to be coming out with a closing, and there will be a specific gift for someone if they get back. And I know Victoria has something that she's sending me, so I know that'll be the gift, and we're going to talk about that on the end of it. Okay, so we're going to take a quick break, so stay tuned.
There's a sparkle in your eyes. I feel the warmth of your skin. Just the touch of your hand makes me tremble within.
Welcome back to the Upfront Mind, Body, and Soul, where I'm here with my special guest, and it's almost time to go. It seemed like this hour just went by so fast because this was a good conversation. So hoping that you all gain something from this, what to look out for when you're looking at various types of coaching, or if you're in their interest of it. We here are two professional ad monitor, and here a professional achiever. So, you're right here. You got it right here. But I want to say, Victoria, not only does Victoria does coaching, like she said, we wear many hats.
Yes, we do.
When we talk about collaboration, I have actually had the pleasure of having Victoria collaborate with me on a book where we talked about coaching.
Guess what I got?
Yes. So it was the silhouettes of strategies from authentic coaches, and myself and her and 12 other people
Yes.
were typing that. She had the pleasure, and I thank you again for joining in that with me to get that work done, because it's still needed out here in this job. But not only is that, but she is also a author as well. Not recent, but she does have a recent book that will be coming out. Victoria, it's already out, but do you want to share that?
Sure. Well, Michelle, girl. So I was part of a collaboration. We just finished up about a month and a half ago, I want to say. And it's called Owning Your Uniqueness, Your Voice Matters. And it's myself and 12 other phenomenal women. And it's our journeys and our stories that we talk about. And this was actually published by Dove Publisher. Miss Lisa Washington is one of her artworks. And so it's a phenomenal book. It's 13 women and our 13 different stories. And, my chapter is number 8. So you got to buy the book. And
Five of them.
Yes, and go to my website to get them. Okay, my chapter is chapter 8. It's entitled Until Elevating My Voice to Be Heard. It's a very small synopsis of a part of my life, my journey from birth, and I mean it's a simple passage of some things that I experienced throughout my life from birth until adult. But at the end of the chapter, I tell you that your now, your until is now. And so it is a phenomenal book. It's like I said, 13 of us wrote this book. It's by the visionary Tina Harmon. It was our visionary behind this. It was amazing. It was an amazing book. And Michelle, you got 4 copies in the mail. You got 2 for your other event. You've got 1 for tonight, and you got 1 for yourself, my friend. But if anybody would love a copy, and I know you want one, and Michelle said buy 5. So if Michelle said buy 5, I'm expecting 5 things to post on my page. You can go to my website, victoriamholland.com, and hit shop, and you'll see this amazing book, Owning Your Uniqueness. And so, but Michelle, I said I was gonna tell you a couple of secrets too.
Yeah, so
You're trying to tell secrets, girl.
secrets. Okay, we're ready. Are we ready for the secrets?
Are y'all ready? Secret number 1. I have another book coming out. I'm going to be meeting with some people, some publishers, and some things that's in the works. It's going to be a portion of another part of my story, Michelle, and it's going to be entitled, this is my title, y'all. It started with me.
Ooh, okay.
So it's going to be, the manuscript is almost finished. And so I'm looking forward to getting that out, hopefully by my birthday, which is in October. So that means I'm going to be really doing some working fast. The other thing we got coming up, Michelle, is the Coaches on Parade. Coaches on Parade. We've been kind of taking a break. Many of y'all know I've been sick at the end of 21, but we're coming back with the Coaches on Parade, Michelle. And as I said earlier, Michelle Hammond is going to be one of those phenomenal coaches that's going to be out there. My godson who is out there tonight, Keith Slade, is one of the phenomenal coaches that will be returning. Kate Clark is going to be returning. And we got a whole slew of new people that are interested in being on the Coaches on Parade. And we're going to be having an interest meeting because I want people that are compassionate, that are true, and collaborators. Compassionate, true collaborators. These are the people that will be on the Coaches on Parade, and we're going to give you an opportunity, and we'll give Michelle more information. She'll be able to share it because we're going to be sponsoring her show here tonight. We're going to be coming to being a sponsor for Up Mind, Body, and Soul, and so we want her to be a part of that because it's amazing to have met Michelle in this time life. And the other thing I want to tell you about Michelle is we do have the Collaboration versus Conspiracy Conference coming up really soon. And Michelle B. Hammond is going to be one of those people. Ooh. Y'all better get ready because we're going to be talking about how you need to collaborate and not conspire.
That's it. That's a very, 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 because that's the thing. You got to be careful as everyone want to attach onto it. So that'll be for another after show talk when that comes up in about.
That's coming up. I think it's going to be, we've set the date for August. I'll tell you the definite, but I think it's going to be cut up in August. And then, of course, we got the Favor Affair 2022 Summit is coming back. And so you guys are going to be seeing more about that. Michelle's going to be back on that, as well as Lisa Washington, Kay Clark. And we've got about 3 or 4 other new people that's going to be coming back for that one too. Dr. Gia Conway's coming back too. Dr. Sylvia Coops is coming back. So it's going to be a phenomenal group of ladies. That the Favor Affair Summit is going to be just a little bit different this time.
Oh, it was exciting last year. I loved it last year. It was so much.
You might hear Michelle sing too, y'all.
Great content in it. So, yeah. So I'll be ready. Hopefully it'll be out and ready. So other stuff that's coming along. So Victoria, let me tell you. So give the audience where they can find you. And let me tell you, if you want authenticity, as we said, authenticity. You will want to follow her on Uncensored on Sundays where she has it. Let me tell you, one thing I can say, and what I love about her is that everybody now want $1 to holler.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm being still on that one. Can I be still on that one? $1 and a holler. And I said this last week, and I'm not saying that what we do, we don't need to invest sometimes in it. But Victoria has people on the platform from just giving her platform for a place for them as, the product. And people need to realize, let's talk about, this is just something to end with tonight. Even with this show, I don't charge people to come on this show. Not at all. And this is business.
This is business.
It's still business to me, but I don't charge people to come on the show. One of the things I know, because I know I'll be blessed behind it, but I'd rather see someone. Now tonight, I'm hoping that somebody gain it, even whoever catches the replay.
Yes.
That you got some free information here.
Yeah.
Free information. Even down when you talk about therapists, I have not seen too many therapists come on podcasts. They might have some therapists who have their own original podcast, but I have a therapist who will be coming back, Samara, next month.
Oh, yay!
Who will be coming back as Samara Self-Care Corner again next month, who comes on and gives an hour once a month.
Wow.
Time. And it's licensed and clinical. Now, to go back to what you were saying earlier about coaching and stuff, I can now say that I'm actually clinical in acting as of last week. But as I said, I'm glad you clarified it.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm glad you clarified. There's a difference between a coach and a therapist. But it's good that I can assess and see signs.
That's right. That's
that
right.
I can refer you somewhere. But that's all to say that. And again, even next week, on not saying Valentine's Day, but St. Patrick's Day, with St. Patrick's Day is next week. Free your mind, stress. I'm coming out with a free workshop just to give you a little taste of what I do in the realm of mindfulness and meditations and all that type of stuff. Come wearing your green at 7:00 if you want it. You can inbox me next Thursday for St. Patty's Day. You can inbox me and I will give you the Zoom link, because this is going to be personal, because a lot of people be anxiety and all that type of stuff. Come wearing your green. See, I'm giving a little teaching on that. Green actually gives you a calming, and it takes away a little bit of stressors and anxiety. So that's just a little bit of the realm. So Victoria, tell the audience where they can find you at one more time.
You can find me here always on Facebook at Victoria M. Holland, as well as Elevated Not Tolerated Coaching and Motivational Services. There's a business page out there for you. But if you just go to victoriamholland.com, you'll find all of the services are out there. And Michelle, just because you and I'm continuing to celebrate your birthday, guess what I got for you?
Ooh.
Anybody watching tonight can go to my webpage and go to shop, and they can get the free workshop, Celebrate Yourself. Just for tonight only.
Okay, so I'm gonna go back and watch the name. See, there it is. I don't even have to give out, but I just want to see who was paying attention. Because someone, the first person who can say, I might throw in an extra coaching session, or a relaxation session. I have a machine as well that for stress. If you can name out the 3 topics that we talked about tonight, the first person to get that will be the person to get the gift for that.
Come on, y'all, get it. Come on, y'all, get it. Come on. Let's get it, y'all.
All right, going once. Okay, Roxanne, that's my sis. Roxanne, you got it. So I'll call you later, but I'll or when you come home, or I might have to take a trip to VA to come to VA for the weekend and bring it with me. So with the on-demand. So Roxanne knows about that. That's when I first started out in business with that.
Awesome.
So to do the body scan. Yeah.
Roxanne. All right.
Yeah. Now. So again, thank you to our sponsor, A Breath of Fresh Air, Mr. Roger McKnight and his band, for sharing and being our sponsors for tonight. And for you, the audience, for tuning in tonight. Share this video next week. Bring back 2, 5, 7, 8 more people. Subscribe, like, and share. Do all of that. So again, I just wanted, and this is a motto, something new this season I come up with. If nobody else has told you that you are loved, just remember, here at Upfront Mind, Body, and Soul, you are. So good night, everyone. Have a blessed week. And thank you again, Victoria, for coming on.
My pleasure, my friend. See you Friday night.